Hello, I'm going to demonstrate a new open source tool called Mediascope. Mediascope works in conjunction with Cisco's mediatrace feature and is used to visualize performance data about flows across a network, for example for real-time interactive video sessions. So you see the the screen here in front of me. Let me just briefly log in and demonstrate how this works. So essentially we are logging here into a router which contains a mediatrace initiator, and we should see here in a moment a list of the different flows that are currently flowing through this router. So let us select one of those here, and let's say that we would like to visualize what happens to this flow across the network. So in order to configure the graph that we would like to plot, let's say we want to look at the 1 minute CPU utilization, as well as some system statistics. We can also follow different types of flows. We have, for instance, some specific data for RTP or for TCP, and let's say we want to see, okay, how many RTP packets are being lost, as well as what the RTP loss percentage is, or we would like to be indicated actually if the loss percentage is crosses a certain threshold. For instance, if it is greater than 1%, then we want to have it specifically called out in our graph. So with this, let us essentially start a mediatrace session. We see there are 3 mediatrace enabled hops. We can hover over them. We see the data, first of all, that is directly plotted here, as well as other data about the system. What we see across the x-axis is the path across the network. So we see that there are actually 3 mediatrace enabled hops which are being traversed, 2 of which are routers, the third one of which is a switch, so it works across layer 2 and layer 3 devices. In this case, we also have a device inside the network or across the path that does not support mediatrace. This is indicated through this dashed line here. The y-axis tells us, okay, we have 0 packets lost, and now we see something happened. Actually, there is something that occurred between the first hop and between the second mediatrace hop, the third hop, basically along the network path. Since we see here this sudden jump, and we see, okay, it jumped further still. Now the node is colored red, presumably because the RTP loss percentage now has just exceeded 1%. We see that this is actually indeed the case. So essentially, what this tool helps us visualize is immediately where along a path inside a network a particular problem is occurring. So it helps with fault isolation. Also, essentially, as different snapshots are taken, the previous snapshot is superimposed with a new snapshot, which also allows us to detect basically what changes in a path across a certain path of time. So here, for example, we can immediately compare. There's a change here that occurred at this particular hop. In addition, basically past snapshots are being recorded in thumbnails. So if we want to go back and, for instance, superimpose what the same chart looked like earlier, we can do that, which allows us to, for instance, visualize certain trends that are occurring over longer periods of time. So hopefully this gives an impression of what Mediascope does, and this concludes the presentation. Thank you.